Hi, I'm Robert. Welcome to my channel. This is a reading of my latest book, My Nineveh, a cross between psychedelics and the church. It is available now on Amazon. If you like this work and would like to support me, please like and subscribe, and consider purchasing a copy from the link in the description below. Chapter 6, Down the Rabbit Hole. As with all memories, the timelines have a habit of changing, and I'm a few years after these experiences as I write this book. It isn't the timelines that are important, but rather the insights associated with these experiences. As I was soon to find out, my ideas about time might have been built on a sandy foundation anyway. The thirst for insight into this new realm called me back to DMT after a few weeks. Again, I prepared my set and setting, loaded a slightly larger dose of 30 to 50 milligrams into the pipe, and inhaled. Even as more energy coursed through my being, the world broke apart, and I entered into the celestial foyer again. This time, the entity appeared in front of me in the form of a geometric lion. The lion's mouth opened up, and it grew in size until it swallowed me into a portal. This portal phenomenon is quite well documented on the various corners of the internet where psychonauts gather to talk about their experiences. It is also quite reminiscent of the accounts of many near-death experiences reported by those whose consciousness has had one foot in the here and one in the hereafter. For whatever reason, there is a portal within consciousness connecting us to the depths of the dimensions beyond our own. Not everyone experiences this phenomena, but it is remarkably prolific. Going through the portal is like accelerating to light speed. The high-pitched whine that accompanies the DMT experience grows in intensity and pitch, but it never quite leaves the audible range. It feels as though every atom in your body is accelerating, even as your ability to comprehend your body and memories of your life begin to disappear. On the other side of the portal, I met another entity, this one distinctly female. It was like meeting a long-lost lover. More than that, she was my other half for eternity. I knew her intimately, even though she had no name. We communicated in thought, her thoughts and emotions registering in my mind the same as my own. I was briefly ashamed I had forgotten her. How could I forget this deepest love? How could I forget this place, my home? She reassured me, though I had forgotten, that it was part of the journey of life, and I wasn't going to forget her existence again. This place, this dimension, was something I had visited many, many times before, probably infinite, and yet Robert had never been there. Forgetting makes the remembering so much sweeter. She assured me that she would always be here and was always with me. This was home. I briefly felt remorse about being married. Was I cheating on this interdimensional lover? I didn't know. I had forgotten. I was living a life. My eternal lover reassured me. By loving my wife, I was loving her. Growing up as a Christian in Western culture, the constant message that bombards us is that there is the one, the true love that we may be lucky enough to find, set aside for us as a gift from God to each other. This ideal is portrayed in stories like Cinderella, The Princess Bride, and Shrek. However, reality presents itself as a much messier affair. It is a well-known statistic that half of all marriages end in divorce, and the average person has somewhere around 4 to 6 sexual partners in their lifetime, according to the CDC. This experience taught me that this ability to feel romantic and sexual love for another existed within all people. There wasn't the one, but rather the one existed within everyone. Our search for love in other humans is our search to find this being, but that being's presence is clouded over by all the various issues we bring to the table. She was anima, the divine feminine. Marriage and sex are two becoming one, in a dualistic representation of our eternal metaphysical unity, the union of logos and void. The female presence had one more lesson for me on this journey. We were joined by a chorus of smaller entities who were, like her, very happy and excited to see me. It was as though I had been on a journey for 38 years and was just now coming back to my home village. These entities engaged in a very creative play, making unimaginable fractal structures in my presence. It was clear that whatever this place was, it was the creative realm that was generating our own consensus reality. Here, creation was effortless. There was no assembly of wood or stone, no touch required. Thought and vibration was enough to change the entire landscape in an instant. Their thoughts echoed in my mind. Anything can be everything, and everything can be anything. As I came back to consensus reality, I immediately understood this last teaching as an echo of the cycles of creation, life, and death. I thought of the atoms that made up my body, formerly atoms that made up the bodies of plants and animals I consume. If we follow the history of these atoms back further, we learn that they were dirt, or part of the ocean, continually cycled through life after life. Further still, these atoms were forged in the furnace of some cosmic star under immense heat and pressure, then exploded and cast out into the vast expanse of the universe, before congealing into this, our planet. I also knew that when I die, these same atoms would be buried or incinerated, like the atoms that had previously been lent to my brother, and repaid in full to the world I find myself in, eventually becoming the sustenance of some other organism with an internal conscious experience, happy to consume these atoms as a meal. In the distant future, they will be consumed by our sun as our planet is absorbed by its expansion. Perhaps these atoms would become part of a black hole, a density so high that consensus reality can no longer support it, and it winks into counter space. This form that I inhabit is a runner in the relay race of creation. I did not ask for the form. I did not pick the chromosomes that make up my being. I do not pick my desires and preferences. All this was given to me as part of the conscious experience that is me. It was around this time that I decided to change course in my use of psychedelics. So far, I had been consuming DMT, which is a very potent and fast-acting molecule. These realms begin to take on a carnival quality, hypervisual, very exciting, but also terrifying. A typical journey of 50 milligram dose lasts about 15 minutes. They started to become a quick escape from consensus reality, and I stopped giving me the insights I desired. I no longer met the woman on the other side. I never considered this use a problematic or addictive behavior. Indeed, psychedelics have an anti-addictive qualities where you must gird yourself for an encounter with the unknown. But these trips were starting to send me the message that I had done enough and would not grow any further from DMT. I decided to learn how to cultivate magic mushrooms. This would give me a break for a few months, a new project to work on, and a new type of experience when finished. I ordered some supplies and got to work.